What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again with the brand new video for Might and Magic Elemental Guardians. Today we're going to jump into the Shattered Islands and take a look at some of the stages that we have to see which one of the farmable units that we can obtain are going to be the best ones for new players out there, okay? So as you guys can see, I've cleared pretty much all the content from normal all the way up to Nightmare. I'm still working on Fire Maze and Wastelands, but the good thing about it is even though there are 27 creatures that you can obtain via these stages, there's going to be 2 of them that we're going to be focused on that I feel that are just simply the best. Now, when it comes to things that we look in our composition, I want to give a huge shout out to my man Vulcan with Vulcan Games. If you haven't checked out his YouTube already, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the description down below. One of the recent videos that he talks about is basically a team building guide and some of the things that you're going to be looking for into bringing into your team as a new player. One of those things is going to be damage mitigation. What can you do to mitigate the damage early on in the game once you start working your way through the content, okay? So the cool thing about these free-to-play units that you're going to have a chance to get is that both of them provide that kind of damage mitigation in 2 different forms, okay? So the first one that you're going to be able to get is going to be coming from the advanced stage of Mystic Forest, which is the Water Arcane Bird. Okay, this one is a really good monster. So if you get a chance, once you have worked your way through the content, go ahead and hop into the advanced stages, and you don't even have to be at level 7. You can start from level 1 here and basically farm it out so you can get an opportunity to get this unit. Okay, what we'll go ahead and do is take a look at this unit, as I already have him built. He's actually one of my top units out there, so you guys can get an idea of what's going on. Now, I have already evolved him a little bit, but what we're just going to do is break down the skills so you guys can get an understanding of why this creature is so good, okay? As I stated in previous videos, the first skill is just going to be the basic skill. Now, I do have mine evolved, so we'll talk about that in a little bit here, but let's go ahead and focus at the unit at hand, okay? Why is this unit so good? The second skill, we have a skill called Empower. It's going to decrease the attack of all enemies for 1 turn, and then it has a 70% chance of lowering the turn bar for 20%. So again, being able to reduce the amount of damage that we take by that attack break is going to be extremely important, especially for those mini bosses as well as the boss stage on there, okay? Next one up is the third skill. This one's going to attack all enemies and shelter all allies for incoming damage, as well as provide a 70% chance of decreasing their speed for 2 turns. So again, this is a 2-star creature that has literally 3 different types of mechanics going on in this skill. You have AoE damage, you have the incoming mitigation by 40%, and then that decreasing of the speed for 2 turns. Again, when it comes to all the things that we can do, even though damage mitigation is extremely important, we're getting ourselves a little bit of turn advantage as well by slowing the opponent down and allowing our units to cycle through their abilities and get more turns, okay? So that is why this unit is so good. I mean, it just has so many different mechanics going on in the skill, okay? And then, of course, the second skill, like we were saying before, the decreasing the attack of enemies for all in 1 turn, it's really good. But one of the things that I'm going to go ahead and mention as we take a look at these skills a little bit more closely is that the true value of these 2 units that we're going to take a look at doesn't just come from the kit that it brings, but also the ability to skill it up and what kind of value it brings to that, okay? So second skill, if we're super fortunate to go ahead and get ourselves a skill up in this one, you will see here that this is something that has not been done in other games here. We have an opportunity to go ahead and invest into this one, skill it up, and improve the effectiveness of that skill. So effect turns +1. What that means is it's going to turn that decreased attack of all allies from 1 turn to 2 turns. So again, having a full set of 2 turns on that attack break is going to give your healers more opportunities to basically go through the skill so they can get the heal up. And while that downtime is going on without any heals, we're still going to be able to take a little bit less damage, right? So that's going to be a huge thing. Obviously, as you can see, we're going to be able to reduce the cooldown time and increase the probability of that turn bar reduction, okay? And then on the third skill, you'll be able to see that there is a little bit of damage buff in here, but if you're lucky enough, you'll be able to get it all the way down, so you can reduce this one from a 5-turn cooldown to a 4-turn cooldown. Now, again, while I think that's going to be really, really beneficial if you can get down that way, the biggest thing for me that helped me out the most, I feel like, or will help me out the most, excuse me, is going to be this 2-turn attack break, because this is an amazing skill. Even though it doesn't actually hit the monster, it still provides that assistance of, basically being able to mitigate the damage if your third skill is not up. Okay, so again, these are 2 amazing skills, and I was able to evolve this. One of the options that you can obtain is the self heal by 10% of the max HP. And the reason why I think I got super lucky on this one is because every once in a while you guys are going to be hopping into certain stages and possibly run into stages where you have a full array of air element units, right? So if that is the case, they're going to have the elemental advantage towards this unit. So again, that's going to be a lot of damage coming at the Water Arcane Bird. So if you have this evolution available, then you're going to be able to get yourself a little bit of a heal when your healer is not available to give that heal. So that's going to help out quite a bit, okay? Now, these are my current stats for the Arcane Bird. Right now, we're just keeping it simple when it comes to the glyphs that we have available. Like we stated in that previous video, we just basically focused on the floating islands for a very long time, gathering ourselves quite a bit of blue and green glyphs here so that we can go ahead and use those. And every once in a while, on those nightmare stage, we were able to get some yellow glyphs. So as you can see, I got a 1 in there, but the majority of them are green. Now, as far as the stats go and how I built it, I went for speed on the top 2. I went for flat defense and flat HP on the middle 2 for the squares. And mind you, I think I would have gone double defense if I had the chance, just to have a little bit more effective HP. But I obviously with the yellow glyph, you gotta get that one in there and use it, since the stats overall, as you can see from the substats, I'm gonna get even a little bit more stats with the HP and the defense that are gonna help out. And then down below, I went with the percentage-based glyphs. Simply put, they were just some of the better glyphs that I had at the time. I haven't done a lot of improvement. Again, I've moved through some of the content, but I'm still using vitality glyphs, and I'm really glad that I kept the vitality glyphs on, because it just kind of goes to show that if you invest the time into those early game stages and get the green glyphs, you can do just fine. Now, as you progress and you're able to clear a little bit more content and get yourself some better glyphs, one of the things that I would be looking forward to switching to is possibly a haste set as well as a precision set. And why is that the case? Simply for basically for the fact that the reason why I have the speed up in here is because I'm trying to have as many turns as possible. I want to be able to cycle through my skills and use them as much as I can, right? So haste is going to provide you a 10 speed bonus, which again is not a whole lot when you think about it, but early game players are going to be able to get a lot out of it when they're trying to get their units up in the higher echelon of speed, right? As far as the precision goes, the accuracy bonus is without question one of the best things that you could do for this unit. Again, going back to the skills, having an opportunity to land the attack break, reduce the attack bar of the unit, and then of course the AoE speed decrease. It's all going to come into play when it comes to the skill. And mind you, I'm laughing a little bit right now as I look at mine, because I have myself 22% accuracy, which is obviously not the way to go. I should be looking to switch into precision set. But again, I'm going to talk in future videos down the road as far as the progression of where I've been able to get and basically show you not only where I've hit as far as my milestones, but some of the changes that need to be made in order for me to progress further, because I have hit like a breaking point, and there's some stuff that I need to prove, one of which is to get this unit on a precision set so that I can get that accuracy. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at the second one. We'll go and hop back in to the Shadow Islands. The next one that we're going to take a look at is in the Sunken City. Again, it's going to be in the advanced stage. This one here is the Air Golem. Again, another unit that you're going to be able to obtain that will provide you the damage mitigation that you're looking for. It's not going to be coming from a beneficial effect that reduces the incoming damage similar to the Water Arcane Bird. This one is going to be provided by the defense buff, okay? And for those new players out there, what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to waste a little energy. And I'm just going to run a map real quick so that you guys can see some information here, okay? Now, if you are starting to run and you want to get some basic information as far as, what you can find out and what all the skills mean, you can click the help button up here and you can kind of scroll down to see, what all these beneficial and harmful effects provide, okay? We're going to be focusing on this second from the top one beforehand because one of the things that we'll see in the Air Golem is we're going to get ourselves a defense buff for the party. And again, when you think about the value of effective HP and making sure that you are doing everything in your power to make your units nice and tanky, being able to provide a buff that provides 60% defense is quite strong early on in the game. So again, there are a ton of different harmful effects and beneficial effects to take a look at. I encourage you guys to check it out down the road, okay? So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to exit it out. I know you guys are like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? That's so much waste of an energy. I know, right? It's just for the video. Come on now, give me a break, okay? We're going to go back into it here and take a look at my golem. Now, my Air Golem is at 3-star max because I was fortunate enough to pull a nat 4 a few weeks after I started the game, so I took him out. In addition to that, I also got another unit out there that provided the defense buff alongside a heal, which was I believe it was my Water Arcane Bird that I have right here. So again, we'll talk about that in a future video, but I want to focus on the free-to-play players today, okay? The Air Mini Golem, okay? This one is by far one of my favorite starting monsters to date. I really am a big fan of it. And the reason why I'm a huge fan of it is because it's one of the first units that you can obtain where if you happen to get lucky and skill it up, you are going to have a buff that is going to provide you a 100% uptime, meaning you can literally cast this buff, have it up for the duration, and then once the duration is gone, you are going to be able to cast it again, okay? So we're going to take a look at that skill firsthand. This one here, it's called Sparkly Mist. Increases the defense of all allies and the received healing effects for 2 turns. Okay, so take note that this one is maxed out. I have this maxed out, and so we have the received healing effects and the defense buff for 2 turns, but it's reusable in 2 turns. So again, if you are manually through the stages, then you have a really, really good chance of mitigating a good chunk of damage that you're going to be taking in. So this is extremely important of a unit to go ahead and improve, not just for the defense buff, but if you think about it, the healing effect bonus. This is something new that you haven't seen in other turn-based RPGs. We have units that provide healing effect bonus to improve the value of whatever healer you bring to the mix. So again, when we first start out, we have the Air Nymph, which is a single target healer. It is a great unit, but we're going to be looking for something that provides a little bit more value to give ourselves like an AoE heal, so to speak. So again, until we get those units skilled up and see the healing effect improve, or we get those appeasement runes, which we'll talk about later, that improve the healing bonus, this is going to help out quite a bit for your healer in order to keep your units alive, okay? Third skill, this one here attacks the enemy, inflicting great damage, and great damage is a decent, right? It's a pretty good amount of damage. And it does damage based on the defense, and then it has a 55% chance of lowering the turn bar by 80%. Again, control, turn advantage, being able to get up against that boss and reduce the turn bars so that you can constantly get some more turns while he's still trying to keep it alive. So when you think about the combination of the Water Arcane Bird plus this unit, the Mini Golem, you have an AoE speed off the Water Arcane Bird, and then you have this paired with the Mini Golem. You have not only is the boss not getting a lot of turns because of the reduced amount of speed, but it's losing literally almost a full turn because you're able to reduce the attack bar by 80%, okay? So let's take a look at the skills that are coming in. Like I said before, if you're super fortunate to get this skill up, you literally can invest, one time with your magical book, get the skill up, and you will see a huge difference in your consistency of your runs, okay? And then, of course, the next one that we want to take a look at, which I am really, really happy that they did this. As you can see, unlike the Water Arcane Bird, there's no damage improvement on this skill. They literally go straight into the probability, improving the chance of you reducing that turn bar. And then, as you can see, we have 40% that can be obtained here, so that you can improve it and get this one to be extremely reliable. That being said, again, that is simply an activation rate. You're still going to have to kind of keep an eye out on your accuracy on those subsets so that you can improve it. Again, precision sets are really, really good if you can. If not, do what you can to, just get the best amount of effective HP overall, because again, I feel like this unit, the turn bar, is extremely important, but the beneficial effect from healing as well as the defense buff is going to be extremely valuable, because that one, you don't have to rely on landing it versus just putting the buff up, okay? So again, this one is in its first stage of evolution. My apologies, and I believe that we have one more evolution. If I take it up to the last one, you'll be able to see that I get a small boost on the speed. This one for me wasn't too important early on in the game, but being able to have the first skill done, I definitely enjoyed that as well. I was a big fan of this one, because this one here, 50% chance to decrease your speed for 1 turn. So if you're not fortunate to have that AoE speed down on the boss with the Water Arcane Bird, then now you have a backup with this unit being able to provide that attack speed decrease, in between your skills. So again, and just like we were preaching beforehand, there is no big change here on this unit. I'm still rocking vitality runes on here. They're not even upgraded to plus 10 like I would like to see them. It's kind of sad, but the reason why I didn't invest all too much, simply put, I didn't have a lot of crystals at the time. But one of the things you will notice is that this particular unit's base stats are actually pretty good for a free-to-play unit. So if you compare this one to other defenders of that same rank or the same grade, you will realize that this is actually not too bad at all. So take note that my green and yellow runes, even around the majority of them being at an average of like 8 or so, I'm still being able to get over 10k HP, which I think is a really good benchmark to do. And then my defense is just under, or sorry, yeah, a little over 550. Okay, I would obviously like to have that a little bit more, but again, combining the defense buff that we were talking about earlier, it's going to definitely help this out, not just for this unit, but for all the units that you're bringing into the mix. Okay, so that's going to be it, guys. Taking a look at the shadow line, these are the 2 best free-to-play farmable monsters you can obtain, so that you can help your progression that much better. Okay, as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care.